and do not reflect those of anyone else. Wherein the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone actually.
Welcome to another episode of Wearing the Folk. Thank everybody for tuning up. Totally muted me. Don't worry about muting me. I got a mute button. See?
Well, there was white noise.
Yeah, it's not coming from my end.
It was actually.
Nah. So,
Well, we can
how's
cut it,
everybody,
dude.
how's everybody doing today? Morgana's still muted. All right.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah, good.
Okay, cool. Hey guys.
I'm not understanding what happened there though
What do you mean?
with the intro.
I'm not either. I'm full bars, brother. I hope everybody's doing all right. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it since everybody's had a good weekend. I'm glad I've been off for the last 2 days. That's fun.
I haven't.
It's the first time in a while I'm going to get a 4-day weekend. I love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad somebody's getting a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody needs one occasionally.
Hey,
So-
Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Hi, Linda. So where do you all want to start tonight?
Okay, one of y'all start because I'm tweaking something.
I'd like to get started with this gentleman right here. In Lady Lake, Florida, last Saturday, one Michael Fleming walked into a Chase Bank on US 441 with a mission on his mind. Michael filled out a deposit slip and patiently waited in line, as we all would do. When he finally opened up, Michael handed a withdrawal slip to the bank teller for 1 cent. Now, this wouldn't be a big deal, but the bank teller told Michael, we can't really cash for 1 penny. To which he said, so you want me to say the other word? I don't really understand that. Do you want me to say the other word? What do you think that is?
I don't know.
What do you think the other word is? 2 cents?
That this is a robbery?
3 cents? 4 cents? I don't know. But the teller felt like it was basically a threat. So they contacted the police, who, upon arrival, Michael was still there, and he was swiftly arrested, and he was transported to the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Apparently he had said a lot of things, but everything was redacted out of all the police statements. Even the ones he said when he went to the police, even when he got arrested. So I don't understand what was redacted, but he's now on a $5,000 bail bond. So that 1 penny actually was a success story for local PD, because they're going to make some solid cash out of this.
Yes, they are.
Why would he go and want to request 1 penny? Right here's a picture of the gentleman, if you see him right here. He looks like he's a pretty sane guy, in my opinion. But look at him. I mean, the only thing I can think is that he was hoping to get a penny that was made before 1982, because right now, though, they're worth twice the face value of a penny in copper. So he's going to get 1 penny, go scrap it, come back, get 2 more pennies, take them and scrap them, go back and get 4 pennies, and wash and repeat until he's a rich man. What do you think about that?
Okay, my dad asked me when I was a teenager. He goes, okay, you have 2 choices. You can get $1 million cash right now, or you can get a penny a day, every day, doubled, a compounded amount for 30 days. Which do you choose? And of course, you're a teenager, $1 million in the hand is it. And then he made me do the math, which was painful as hell, but go for the 30 days. Because that doubling every day after about the 18th, 19th day starts getting up into good money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a wild, wild one. There's another Florida man. Might as well jump straight into this since they're back to back. I'm all about stopping up robot uprisings. Huge corporations can eat a bag of peanuts for all I care. But in Lakeland County, Florida, 72-year-old Dennis Wynn took action. He actually went into action. Dennis was outside, probably, I don't know, sweeping sand off his stoop or something, when he heard a strange buzzing, and the sound caught his attention. So he immediately recognized the danger and whipped out his 9mm pew stick and popped the mechanical menace out of the sky, which happened to be a drone that was flown by Walmart dropping off packages. I didn't even know they had started doing that. Did you know they started doing that?
I had heard they were going to. Um, I would be curious to know if they had started doing that, but I have a feeling that after today I won't be allowed to shop at Amazon anymore. Because that's where my husband's been sitting for the last 8 hours after his appointment. And he's not a happy person.
Do you know, and they've opened an Amazon facility close to us now, you can like do that kind of like those instant cart things.
Uh-huh.
Like you can just sign up to deliver some packages. Ain't that weird?
That is, well, some of the idiots that I've had deliver stuff, I can see that. Because I have this huge package locker. I mean, this thing is 4 feet long, 2 feet high, 2 feet deep. And I've got 4 signs around my yard saying, put packages in the box with arrows pointing. And then there's one right above the box that points down. And my son had a $800 pair of earbuds that sat on my back steps for days because nobody knew they were there.
I don't know what's causing that. Looks like totally dropped off because of white noise potentially.
Huh.
I did hear it. It's gone now for some reason.
Yeah.
What have you got in the chamber tonight?
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let me get that pulled up because I had a really cool one. Okay, so there was this lady, and hang on a minute and I will tell you her name. Her name is Quinn, Quin. And about 20 years ago, on her farm, she found this old fashioned looking hammer. She just assumed it was some type she had never seen before. So she's been using this thing for 20 years. I mean, she uses it to hammer nails in, she cracks nuts with it, she crushes red peppers. And these people had come along that were going to help her clean up and realized that it was a live hand grenade.
Oh yeah, I've actually heard
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah. So, it said luckily she never pulled the pin out of it, out of curiosity or anything. But she said, and said she was just nonchalant about it, no big deal. Yeah, I've been using it and I've never had a problem with it. Which, must be true where they say that God must love old people and little kids. Because, I know my luck. The first time I went to hammer something, I would have blown myself up.
Absolutely. Landa's saying she can barely hear you.
Okay, hang on.
I think we might. I think we might need to abandon this platform.
Yeah.
We don't have that issue on other things.
Is that any better?
Is that any better, Morgana? I mean, Landa, go ahead and shoot us a little text there.
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely having some problems here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play with my settings while you move on to the next one.
All right. Let's see. So we got a blast from the past that Tully had put on here. I'm hoping he comes back here soon.
Mm-hmm.
Beta. I'm not sure even what this means. Battle Battelle. Does that sound right?
That should have been battle.
Battle wins DARPA contract for injectable brain control technology. That's scary. Team led by the U.S. scientists and
Yeah.
technological development from I'm thinking it's Battle A. has won a contract from the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency known as DARPA for its next generation non-surgical neurotechnology N3 program aimed at developing bi-directional brain control technology interfaces for a able-bodied service members call brainstorms brain systems to transmit or receive magnetic electric signals. So the concept involves the development of nano transducers that could
Hmm.
be introduced into the body via injection and directed to a specific area of the brain to help complete a task through communication with a helmet-based transceiver. So I mean, this is essentially where the future is now. It's I mean, everything that we've ever read about. I actually watched Surrogates today.
Uh-huh.
Um, earlier today, whenever I was not doing anything else,
Yeah.
and the point that we reached at, I don't know. Like, at what point is life not life anymore? It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a show I do like. I mean, it's just one of those, it's just weird enough to be something I really enjoy watching. But yeah, the concept of us moving in that direction where we're living surrogates is insane. I
Mm,
mean, I just can't imagine, staying home in a chair every day while my doppelganger goes out and takes care of business for me.
yeah. I
You
don't
know,
know.
and at what point too do they start pushing this further and further and further into, and I really think they're probably doing some of it now where they're doing designer babies.
Oh yeah.
We just don't have the money to be part of that particular test group, but I'm willing to bet you that they're doing that.
That's 100% happening. I mean, people are doing the genetic splicings and things like that to like give babies blue eyes, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So it's really hard to say what's going on. I mean, there is a point where, like, I can understand gene manipulation and stuff to the point to where you don't want to have a child born with like deformities and things like that.
Yeah,
But I
but
don't.
at what point do you say that's enough?
Yeah.
I mean, at what point? Because, like I said, I had a friend. We debated this hotly one night because she's like, well, if something ever happened to my child, or you lost your dad, wouldn't you love to have him back? He wouldn't be my dad anymore. Because a part of what makes you you are the things that have happened to you throughout your life. So, unless they could do it like the whole, what was that damn movie, the Sixth Day
Yeah.
with Schwarzenegger, where they could actually take, imprints of your life. And, again, we aren't in the right, tax bracket to have that kind of advantage. It's only going to be people that have the means to purchase that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, it's wild. Hey, they can hear you now. Awesome.
Okay, good deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what I did. I tweaked some settings. So, all right. But yeah, like I said, I'm all about, like, when it comes to cloning, like for organs and stuff. You know, I can grow because your body's going to accept things that are yours much easier than if you get a donation from someone else.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I could see something like that, but it's not ever going to stop there.
Mm-mm.
No.
No, it's all wild.
Yep. 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 All right. Let me see if I can share a screen. Uh, well, damn. I don't know how to share a screen on here. Uh, uh, uh.
It's the little thing down in the bottom right there next to the sentence. It has a little screen with a up.
I see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let me get this little window up. All right. So which window do I want to share? Okay, I think this might be it. Let's see what happens.
All right.
All right. Um.
There you go.
Okay.
You got one, Sharon.
Oh, I've got a bunch of them sharing. Okay, so okay, but that's the one I want to share. Is the one back behind everything.
Click on the left over there, or the right, I guess. You can just click on the screen.
Uh-uh. It's like they're piled up one on top of another, and it's not letting me share them. Damn it.
There you go.
Okay, that's the one I want. Ah, hold on.
Oh,
Wait. I think I know.
all right. Yeah.
There you go. Can you see that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so back a few months ago, Mississippi had a contest, and it was basically, hey, send us, your funny messages that we can put up here. The whole idea was to get people to pay attention to the signs, but making them interesting, but with a message, and everything. And they do this in other places around the country too. But like I said, Cousin Eddie says Twitter's full, put down the phone. Your mom called her, you buckled. I mean, like I said, they're fun.
Yeah.
Well, the federal government has decided that they can't do this anymore. There's a new rule out that says that basically those signs are made for emergencies and for important information, and we all have to phase them out.
Huh. I mean, they don't do stuff like that around here, but you always see that click it or ticket stuff.
Right.
I'd rather see like a little something different in it.
Well, and that was kind of the whole thing. They were like, all right, when there's important information like road construction in the next 3 miles, absolutely, you want to put that up there. But when there's nothing going on, why not put something up there that's fun?
I kind of get it. I guess they'll think it distracts some people because it's so hilarious. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so people can't get any dumber than they already do, But like I said, I just think of all the things out there that we could be concentrating on. Signs on the highway will not be one.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a crazy situation.
Yeah, it is. It is. But like I said, I think they're interesting. And I guess too, I grew up with the whole thing. Like, if you really want to get me started, people that put memorials on the side of the highway. That is a huge pet peeve of mine because my dad worked at MDOT my entire life. And that was one of the big complaints that they had, that as workers, those memorials on the side of the highway actually distract people, and they had to go and clean up messes from accidents of people seeing flowers off in the median, trying to see what they were looking at and everything.
Now that you say that, I've kind of seen less of those around now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they used to be really prominent everywhere around here. Anytime there was an accident where somebody lost their life, we've seen it constantly around here. But I mean, that's kind of strange. Because a lot of people want to remember, things like that and where it occurred, but I kind of get it.
And I'm not trying to be, heartless or anything like that, but my thing was always, I don't want to remember the place I lost my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad was actually killed on a highway in Mississippi, on the job. So, so I understand, but it's just one of those things, I want to remember him alive, not where we lost him. And I get not everybody's like that, but, and like I said, I heard about it all my life. If I ever get killed, do not ever put damn flowers on the side of the highway, So I was preconditioned to not like it.
Yeah.
So,
It it's pretty. It's been pretty common around here my whole life, but
Hmm.
now it's just not that bad. Like you don't see it that often, and I get it. Like it's a
Hmm.
distraction and things of that nature. Um, and the way people drive anymore, they get distracted very easy. So
Oh
I
yeah,
kind of get where they're coming from on all this. Really,
yeah.
um, like I'm scared to drive out of my driveway, like down my hallway, because people just are in my lane for no
Hmm.
reason, like constantly.
Yeah.
They usually swerve in the last minute or so. I had a crazy ass dream the other night, by the way. I usually don't have like weird, different dreams.
Hmm.
This was a strange one. So we was driving, and it kind of correlates to this. We was driving down the road, and a guy had dropped his trailer. I remember it vividly. It was like a 4 screen trailer, but it looked kind of like a boat trailer, but it was flat. It didn't have a floor.
Uh huh.
uh,
That's weird.
and so he dropped the trailer, and we got around it fine. But then when we got around it, we there was a curve, and I just kept going straight. And Mandy was with me, and we both got ejected from the vehicle,
Hmm.
and that was it. I remember looking over and seeing her, and then I seen the truck on its side. It was weird.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the day before yesterday.
Huh.
Uh,
Yeah. See, I
Still,
don't like those kind of dreams.
I still don't know what it means. I think she's been talking about getting another vehicle, so I think that's
Hmm.
probably like it's time to get rid of the truck.
Right.
It
Yeah.
is almost 20 years old.
Yeah. Well, I was it's funny because, like I said, dreams. I have weird dreams all the time, but then I start seeing a pattern in some. And when I'm hanging out with all of you guys and we're trying to figure out what to do with the vampire that lives up the street from you or the werewolf that's hanging out around my house and stuff like that, I know it's time to change genre of books I'm listening to when I go to sleep at night, because I go to sleep with a book every night because I don't like it quiet. And so I've been on this specific author that I've been listening to every night, and yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all wild. So let's see. Let's see what else is on in the chamber for the night.
All right.
All right, let's see. This one's long as hell.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me throw this to Tully. No, I already threw it to him. Never mind. I'm fixing to
What's that?
double. Image for the other show.
Oh, okay.
I told him I'd send it to him. So,
Well,
but erg.
here's one.
Okay.
So in rural Alabama, the headline reads: "An underground mine threatens to blow up homes above it. Officials don't care." Apparently, one homeowner was already killed by an explosion, and other residents say no one is willing to answer their questions. And no one is moving to shut down the mine. So there's a small town in Oak Grove, Alabama. That's where this dire situation is happening. Apparently, on March 8th, 2023, a 78-year-old man by the name of W.M. Griffiths and his grandson was injured. Oh, and Anthony Hill has brought to attention the dangers posed by expanding underground coal mines. Um, the thing about that is, I live in Kentucky. I don't know of any mines that go below houses. Where does that come
I
from?
wondered about that because we don't have mines in that sense here.
Hmm.
So yeah, I kind of wonder because I remember reading a little bit about this, and I'm like, I don't understand why they're under houses.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
So,
like it started in one place and they've just like gradually encroached into like residential areas.
hmm. I mean, I can understand it, but creating a mine under a housing complex creates sinkholes and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they do is they use the blade shears to cut the coal out.
Uh-huh.
Basically, that's what it sounds like. It's just a scoop in a way, and they create the seams, which are 1,000 feet wide and a mile long. Um, so if you have you ever seen like videos or even been near a coal mine that have like the shelves?
I've seen those just caving.
Yeah. So that's what they're creating, like a man-made shelf, essentially. Like they're usually about, I don't know, about as tall as this table, about
Hmm.
3 feet or so. Um, those are really prone to just collapse. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know, unless they're set up stably. But even if they're set up stably, once they leave
Hmm.
and once they've evacuated all the coal in the area, I mean, eventually it's just going to collapse. Like, I guess they could think of it as like a cave system or something, but
Well, but okay, I could see it if it were an actual cave system because those have just kind of gradually happened over time. But if you're going in there and cutting fresh stuff, that's going to loosen everything around it.
yeah. Apparently, the methane deposits and lightning strikes, explosions, earthquakes,
Hmm.
all this stuff's left everybody scared to death in this area. Um, it's I don't. It just doesn't seem like a good idea, but I do know that we still rely on the natural resources quite a bit.
Hmm.
So I mean, I don't really see much way around it right now, unless they set up the whole United States with like I don't know. Uh, wait, what? Can't be solar panels because they're not as reliable.
Well,
Uh,
and I part of the year I have great sun like right now, but then then we have the rainy season where I don't see the sun for days on end. So the same with the wind. I don't have enough consistent wind for wind to be a good option.
yeah, it's really hard to say.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to say.
Well, like I said, and it is. It just seems like that's a little bit not a great idea. And like I said, I understand, that we need those resources and everything, but you would just think that I know that like here, people have a bad habit of they'll take an old piece of land that's not being used and say they clear off this land over here. They'll take all the debris and the trees and stuff and they'll put it on this empty piece of land and then they come in and cover it in dirt and then a couple of years later they sell it. Well, wood is going to decay. Dirt is going to settle. So people buy this land saying, oh, yeah, that looks really pretty. Look at all that green grass. And then they start building their house and it starts sinking, you know, and everything. So,
There's
and,
a That's actually funny you brought that up. In my hometown, they built a huge subdivision.
mhm.
And apparently all the houses on this subdivision are sinking now.
That's probably
Um,
why.
and so there's the people that live there are trying to sue the contractor,
Uh-huh.
and they cannot find the contractor to sue them. So these people bought like $200,000 or $300,000 houses, which I wouldn't have paid. Like I understand the housing market's up right now, but I don't want to live somewhere where I can walk outside and like in my yard reach over and touch the other house.
Yes, yes.
That freaks me out.
I rented a place like that one time, and that was a miserable 2 years because I grew up where there was nobody. I mean, we had neighbors, but if you left my house walking to the neighbor's house and a downfall came, you're going to be wet because it was that far, far enough away and everything. So, yeah, I don't like that right up on you. And what we run into, like after Katrina, they come in and they put what we call matchbox houses.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're crap. They're thrown together. They're just trying to get housing in, and it's fine and well until you have another bad storm, and then you've got to replace all those houses again. And they charge a couple $100,000 for those damn things.
yeah. Which I mean, the houses over there look nice and everything,
Hmm.
but they're so close together. Like Tully lives in a subdivision. He lives in a nice one. He's got a nice little piece of property and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Not right on top of each other. These over here, like you can stand between the houses and like
Yeah, yeah,
touch them. Like
yep. I
I'm,
got it.
I'm not a fan of that. That's insane to me.
Yeah,
And now they're sinking. So,
yeah,
so I don't
yeah.
know.
It's decaying wood. So, but yeah, like I said, we lived in one for a while. As a matter of fact, the house my son lived in before he got divorced, you literally could park a normal sized car between his property line and the house next door.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a big vehicle, you're not going to park it and not get on their property.
Yeah.
Okay, so were you looking at this one about the Pulitzer?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
got it right here.
all right. So Ann Wolfe won a Pulitzer for her reporting on Mississippi's welfare fraud scandal. And now there's a very good possibility she's going to go to jail. A few years back, and I remember when all this happened, they went after the prior governor and all of these big names in sports and other things because the governor was giving people welfare money,
Yeah.
to spend on, their pet projects and stuff like that. So she came in and she went behind it and everything, and she broke this story, and it was covered so well, nobody knew about it until it came out. We knew the the welfare system in the state sucked, but we didn't know why it had gotten to the extent that it did. Because of course they're like, oh, well, it's mismanagement. It's this. No, it's the governor giving all of his cronies, money. So now they are specifically the previous governor. They are suing her for defamation of character because he was one of the top people that they have named by name since day one. And they have been hit by a court order requiring them to turn over internal files, including the names of confidential sources. And of course, they say that's a threat to journalism and they will resist, which means there's a very good possibility they will put them in jail for contempt. They had evidence of actual malice, but they've got to prove defamation, and this is my opinion, but if it was happening, how is it defamation?
Yeah.
You know,
I've never like the way that they always kind of steamroll everything and gaslight everything. It's just the world that we live in now is one of those guilty until proven innocent worlds. Like I don't know. Everything's just really strange anymore. You can't believe hardly anything you read. I mean, it's you can't really believe anything you watch. Like,
I agree with that. When the governor's statement though is, I'm not suing them because they exposed $77 million worth of misspending, I applaud them for that. This suit is about defamation. So I mean, he sits right there and says, yeah, that happened, but they said bad things about me.
yeah,
And like I said, I mean, there are other things that have come out about this, when they started digging, because one of the people that that received money for his foundation through the welfare department was Brett Favre.
wow.
I mean, because he's from here. And so, like I said, and it wasn't just one person. It was happening over and over and over again. And, okay, I understand when you have a nonprofit, you're raising money. It might be to help kids. It might be to help with literacy or whatever. But the welfare department is there for a reason, too, and it's not for those projects.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. It's really wild. Did you hear about the world's first carbon tax on livestock?
Oh, no. What's that about?
So dairy farmers in Denmark are having to pay an annual tax of 672 krone, which is about $96 per cow
Uh-huh.
for the planet heat and emissions they generate. Um, this is a horrible. Like, I get it. I get that they've said that the cow flatulence are causing all this. What are they doing with the $100 per cow to stop it? You
Uh-huh.
know, let's see if they actually answer it in this. So the county's coalition government agreed this week to introduce the world's first carbon emissions tax on agriculture. It will mean new levies on livestock starting in this don't start until 2030. So it must be a dire situation if they're going to wait 8 years to
Right,
start it.
right.
Um,
So what happens when they start like charging my husband? Because I'm going to tell you what, there are times when I'd like to put him out to pasture. I mean,
if
uh,
you if you've seen this right here, It looks like I'm in trouble too.
Exactly. So, I mean, that there are so many places that could go. I mean, we were talking about artificial meat a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing with me. Okay, so what are they going to do with all the cattle and livestock if they get rid of real meat?
I have no idea.
Because they're all about conservation too, and not hurting the animals. And
I just don't understand it. Like, yeah, I can understand trying to create different meats and things of this nature for like if overpopulation is what they say it is, which I personally don't think it is. But it could be. I mean, I don't know. I don't get out to other countries a lot. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to say what's going on, why they are pushing all this stuff. I'm sure they have specs and things that look out further than us. I feel like the population hasn't really grown that much in the last 2 or 3 years. I don't even know what it is right now. What is the world?
it is 7.7 billion.
It's went down then. Because a couple years ago it was like, or maybe last year it was like 9 billion.
I don't remember it ever getting that high, but I could be mistaken. I am entitled every once in a while.
Yeah.
But hang on, let me get that. Okay, world.
Now they're saying it's 8 billion. 8 billion people. So I mean, they're projecting 9.15 billion by 2050. At the rate that the world has
Right.
came up, I don't think that's even logical either. So it's hard to say. Um,
Personally, I think we should get rid of about half the people in the world because I just don't like people.
I agree.
I like specific people, but as a species, I am not a fan.
Same.
So I feel like, if we got rid of about half of them, the rest of us would figure everything out.
So you was a Thanos fan?
Yeah.
I think we should go ahead and wrap it up because I really have to use the restroom.
Sounds good.
But thank you all for tuning in. We are going to do a Weird Awakenings tonight, I believe, are we?
Yes. We'll be on at 8 o'clock, 7
All right.
Central.
Awesome.
Yep.
It's going to be a free for all. So come on over and join in on the fun and festivities. And that's over at the Weird Realities Network on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. And you're going to have to play the outro because I don't know how to.
That's what I was just looking at. Hang on, let me find that.
And what's happening this Sunday? They're having.
They are starting the hypnosis session. That
Where in the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and